Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So let's say you're thinking about getting married, or maybe you know somebody that is thinking about getting married. They want to do it in a beautiful location, maybe tropical, maybe they're thinking Hawaii. Now, that's the starting point. Next comes up, where do you do it? And this is the most important, I believe, point. Who do you trust for that? Thousands of miles away. Big moment. Lots of logistics. Who are you going to trust? We're going to talk with somebody who has helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of couples start their lives together in Hawaii. Simple Kona Beach Weddings is where this all happens, and that's also her website as well. Becky Ringler is back with us. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful, Steve. I have lots of exciting stuff to talk about today, but I am glad we started with this. Yeah, I'm doing great.
I'm right there
Thanks.
with you, and I just want to pepper in here that in just a few minutes, we're going to tell you about something sort of unrelated to the wedding side of things, but something that can help you reduce stress, something also for your kids potentially, and it's really cool. So I'll put that to the side. The trust factor. You have so many amazing reviews of people going into detail. You've got so many accolades from, and I forget all, Wedding Wire is one of them every single year, if I remember correctly. The Knot is another one.
Yep.
On and on and on. It's not one off, not a three. Every single year for years, you're voted high up there because of what you do, and most importantly, the trust factor. What do you say to somebody who's pondering, well, how do I know if I can trust Becky to start my life and all these logistics and everything?
It's funny. I feel like I don't really have to answer that question so much anymore. I've been doing this over 10 years, and I think people innately can see, and they can read and they can trust. But it is like, it's always, I was just talking to a couple last week, and they're like, the scariest thing is that we're, you know, X thousands of miles away and we can't physically be there. And we always have this concern, like, what if we're dealing, we don't know who we're dealing with. And the nice thing is, I feel like, um, I've thankfully over time, I've built up this great track record. So people don't really worry or question that anymore. Plus, I have also a very thorough wedding agreement. It is many, many pages, which protects the couples, of course, as well. I learned a long time ago from a business class I took that they're like, look, if you have a really long contract, people can be like, okay, this is a serious business owner. Like everybody is. And of course, it's just all pertinent, right? But, when I first started, I was always worried, like, I know I'm a really trustworthy person. All I want to do is help people have the best experience possible here in Hawaii. But I was like, gosh, I really hope someone takes a chance on me, because when I first started back in 2015, I thought, I hope someone will trust me. And I mean, my very first person that came to me with a vow renewal for a friend's parents. So I had someone right away. Obviously, they knew us, they trusted us. And then I started building, and people just took a leap, right? They decided to trust us. And then the trust, like, I finally was able to show, like, hey, I've done this successfully. Like, I'm really here for you. And now I feel like, because there are actually a lot of fly-by-night people that come here. I've gotten calls from people who said that they gave money to somebody who then just like ghosted them. And that we in our community try to find out if that ever happens, like, who is that? Because we that harms all of us, right? If someone like that, a bad actor, comes in and they promise this stuff and then they grab that, you know, those of us who have been doing this a long time, our photographers, the wedding, planners, people like me who really care about people, that does not help anybody. So we try and police it if we can, but most of the time, all we can do is just be awesome. And also, I always have a Zoom call with everybody, Steve. So when they fill out the form, then we set up a Zoom call, and I'd like them to be able to see me, get a feel for me, talk with me. That I always feel like people say, I feel so much more relieved now that I've spoken to you. So that does help too.
The beauty of technology, and I, even if I'm a new doctor. I've already researched, seen pictures, seen video. I want to feel like I at least know the person before I
Yeah.
invest my time and my schedule, copay, and all of that. I mean, that's just on that side. But yeah, certainly. And by the way, a couple of decades ago, got married on an island, Caribbean. I hired somebody like yourself, didn't do the research, didn't look. I don't even know where. Maybe it's just a Google. I don't even know. Um, Overall, turned out all right, but there were definitely some things that maybe could have been better and identified previously. They suggested a photographer. That person was using actual film. Now, digital was big back then, but there was still nothing wrong with that. A lot of prominent photographers like using film. However, the negatives got scratched up by this photographer. There were marks and things on the pictures. I believe if I did more research, might have kind of vetted it out. I just kind of took it for granted, but you don't know until, and I don't even know if this person ever reviews. Maybe they came recommended. I can't even remember how I found them.
Yeah.
But the trust really wasn't there. I just kind of on a whim, and it turned out okay. But
Yeah.
well, it could have been a little bit better. A little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, that's why I think it's so important to really talk to the person.
Sure.
And I mean, there's definitely people here. You can just do everything online. You just click it and then you book and then that's it. And by the way, there are some good people that do that. I'm not poo-pooing that
Yeah.
or putting it down. But my style is very personal. I prefer couples who want a more personal connection because
Yep.
I care about my couples. I want it to be really wonderful. Anybody I recommend is thoroughly vetted. And occasionally I will, if I have like I meet a new up and coming photographer or somebody has reached out and said, hey, can I be on your
Ah.
list? I'll spend quite some time talking with them. And then if I ever recommend them to somebody, I say, look, if it's the first time I've used the person, I'll say, look, this person is less expensive, but they're very inexperienced. From what I see, it looks good, but I want to warn you ahead of time. So, you kind of like because for some people, the price is all that matters. And
Mm.
so they're like, it'll be fine. But for others, for me, if someone says that my photos are the most important thing, I'm only going to recommend my really strong people that I've worked with hundreds of times that everybody loves. And you'll pay for that, but they're worth every penny. But I try to also mentor younger people to really help them come along, or if someone's new to the island and they've had lots of experience but they don't have any experience here, as long as it looks like their work is good, I'm happy to try and work them in to share with people. But often how someone makes a list is someone will say, oh, I found a photographer that I love and I want to use them. And if I've never used them before, I'll say, okay, I've never worked with them before, but if that's who you really want to use, wonderful. And then if they're fantastic, then they make my list. And if not,
Mm.
don't join me again. Yeah, I think that's my goal is to always help my couples have the best experience possible with the best people.
I want to
So,
reflect back on something you shared a while ago, and that is be prepared when you go to Hawaii. This couple got married in the States, well, the mainland, and then traveled to Hawaii for their honeymoon. And you had said, make sure that you plan things out, you bring things that you need with you. Not easy to get stuff here on the islands, costs and everything. So he was giving examples of like even just basic things. And they did stay in Kauai for a little bit, and they stayed. I'm not sure which island, but it was a more maybe Honolulu.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And for them, side note here, they stayed at Kauai first, then Honolulu, and he's like, you probably should have done it the other way around because it's more quiet on Kauai, and that would have been a nice ending because he
Yeah.
figured it at the end it was all hot, but he doesn't know. He needed somebody like you, but. He's like, I felt like I was getting too much sun, so I figured I, go buy a hat, and just a basic hat was like $50. It's, things are pricey. There are tours connected and all of that. Back to your point, plan ahead, bring what you need, bring what you think you're going to need within reason, and don't expect it to be shipped in tomorrow or it to be readily available.
Yeah, like Amazon will ship, they have like a day that they ship and it's like 10 days or 2 weeks from now. If you happen to like order at the right time, it might get shipped with the next shipment, but it's very slow here. It is not. And also it'll deceive you. It'll say, "Oh, arriving." And then once you place the order, then it shifts the order like many days later. So you're not it's not gonna things are not going to come that fast. The other thing is, like on this island, on the Big Island, especially Kona side, we have, we do have a Target, we have a Walmart, we have a Costco, we have
Hmm.
some big things, but the variety that you are used to on the mainland, we do not have. And the pricing is okay. It's pretty similar, but it's a little more here. But like certain things, if they're out of stock, they could be out of stock for a couple weeks if it's on a ship that's just going slow. And so um, be prepared. Sunscreen is a big thing. We have very strict limitations on the type of sunscreen that's allowed to be sold here. So
Really?
if you have a favorite, yes. There are laws. It has to be a mineral sunscreen that's sold here to protect the reefs, but a lot of people hate the mineral sunscreen because it kind of it's very white, when you try and rub it, it does not rub in well. So be prepared. If you bring some with you, please make sure it's reef safe. Technically, they don't sell that here. But the main thing is it's to protect the reefs. The reefs are dying
Well,
from the.
well, to your point also, you can't travel with 3.4 ounces. It's only going to get you so much. So, you got to plan on buying it there and
Yeah.
be prepared.
And you can pack some in your suitcase as long as you're not doing carry-on. You can pack some in your suitcase, but
Hmm.
just um, these are things you should be prepared for.
Yes.
And yeah, but otherwise, like it also depends. Like if you're in a resort area in Kauai, you won't have the same types of things. Like the one of the best things about Kona is this is a very livable area. So we do have again there are main things that staple places that you can go if you need to. And of course, we got a lot of cool mom and pop boutique type things too. So
Would
yeah,
you say Kona is a fair blend between the quiet and the busier island, but it's not, like the busy island, but it's also not quiet, completely quiet like Hawaii. Would you say it's
I would
kind of in
not
there?
say this is not a busy island. I would say this is like, but it's not like remote either. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's there's no real traffic here. Like on Maui, for instance, even on Kauai, which is a very relaxed place, you will have tons of traffic. We do not have, not most of the time, do not have major traffic issues. I'd say the biggest time is like downtown at rush hour. Rush hour. There are a slight backup on certain roads because there's only so many roads, but we don't really have any major. There's no giant highways here. There's no like this is a very relaxed place. At the same time, you don't feel it's not like remote feel like I don't know how to put it. Like
No,
it's so
I'm getting the visual. It's not
yeah,
like you're isolated.
right. It's not
No.
like that.
Yeah, it's
But
got it seems like if I would visualize like a town, I don't know, I'm going picking anywhere, like let's say in New England where it's outside of not Boston, but one of the suburbs, and you've got those major stores, but you don't have Boston, but you have that just kind of small town feel vibe mentality with some of the bigger stuff some of the other places might have.
yes, that's a good way of putting it. And if I want to feel like I'm in a city, we fly to Oahu and go to Honolulu. Like
Yeah,
those
there
are
you
not
go.
city, right? Um, but it's not. And by the way, flying to other islands is very easy. There's a lot of good, pretty reasonable inter-island flights right now. For a while there wasn't, now they're back. So it's pretty easy to fly, and you can just go for a day trip even
Mm.
some other islands. So yeah.
So I want to ask you, and we're going to get to cool thing that I mentioned before that can help relieve stress, help your creativity, also can benefit your kids too. We'll get to that in like literally 2 minutes. I want to ask you, what are you working on right now? Whose wedding you got coming up? Anything? I want a day in the life of Becky.
Yeah, I've got I just it's interesting. I just got a call yesterday from a couple that I married back in 2019,
Hmm.
and they want to do a vow renewal. They didn't bring their kids, and the husband called me and he said, "Hey, do you remember us?" And I said, "Yes, of course I remember you." But what I always do is I pull up their photos if I'm talking to somebody because I'm a face person. I remember, and once I see their face, I remember everything about their wedding. So I pull up his photos and I mean, the name sounded familiar, but it's like doing the file in my head, like of faces. And I pulled it up. It's like, oh yeah. But anyway, they're going to be coming back in January. I'm really excited to help them do a vow renewal, which is really fun. Got a bunch of weddings coming up in August, starting next Sunday. And, um,
Hmm.
yeah, I just feel like I've got a lot of like fun stuff in the hopper. And I've also I will also say, Steve, the really nice thing is occasionally I get people calling me, and there is some, it's often a vow renewal, and there's some extenuating circumstance, like someone is very ill and they want to do a vow renewal. I just did one just a couple like a week ago for a couple in that situation, and I'm doing one again in September, and it's very meaningful when that happens. And I'm always honored that they trust me to kind of hold that with them and make it really special. So, um, yeah, so
I
those are some.
feel that is the mark of a true professional in what you do, where you can take a situation like that, where somebody has challenges physically, health wise, and you're going to make it work. You're going to make it a beautiful ceremony situation. You're going to find ways to do it with working with that. That's somebody who gets
I
it
mean,
done.
most of the time, what they want is a memory they can hold on to if something should not go as planned with the person's health. So they have this like thing they can cherish forever. And so I take that very seriously, and I want it to be the most magical thing. For some people, this is a bucket list place to
Yeah.
go, and this is literally a bucket list item for them. So
I don't know how you do it in terms of the stress that's there. You got a lot of responsibility going on there
it feels, for me, this doesn't feel stressful. I feel like it brings
because it's your purpose. That's
it
why.
is like it brings me joy, like this
Yeah.
kind of thing, helping people and making like, and in the best situation, still making it the most magical, wonderful day like that. There's nothing to me more than brings me pleasure than to help make that happen. So yeah, I
Mm.
feel very lucky every day.
There's
So
nothing like an aloha adventure, which brings us to your coloring book, which you have
yeah.
created inspired by Hawaii. Tell us more.
Yeah, so this book, it's called Aloha Adventures, a cute and cozy animal coloring book, and it is available on Amazon. Um, and this is, like you say, and it's the author is Brighter Life Coloring. So it's a little thing. My husband helped me do this. We created this coloring book. Now, by the way, it features three animals: a llama, a sloth, and a baby hippo, which clearly do not reside in Hawaii and probably would never reside together. So I just want to put that on there.
Tell
So
us why. Tell us why.
I just wanted to do fun animals that I felt like that are fun to color. And these three animals are actually going to travel around the world together in these coloring books to various places.
Hmm.
But I really wanted to start here in Hawaii. A lot of my couples bring children with them. And also, by the way, there is a huge adult coloring movement.
Oh yeah.
And this cute and cozy style, the lines are like bold lines, like, and Steve, maybe you can, because I'm on this weird thing with the background. I don't know if you can show some pictures
Oh
or some
yeah,
cute,
absolutely. I mean, it
but
is.
the bold lines, it's supposed to create relaxation. I want to bring people on like a trip through Hawaii. This is inspired by Hawaii. Only some of these places are kind of real, but it's meant to evoke the feeling of Hawaii. And I was very picky with the team of artists that we worked with about certain things, like no, it's not like that, or no, we don't have mountains like that, or
Mm,
whatever it might be. Um, and to really create the feeling of the essence of Hawaii in this book. It's not supposed to be like a true, accurate representation, but it's supposed to evoke the feeling of being in Hawaii and the adventures that you could get into and the things you could see. And there's something to me really magical about coloring in a place that brings you relaxation. And
mhm.
Hawaii is the place. Um, and I'm just so thrilled with it. It makes me so happy because it's just like, uh, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to color this in.
It's so well done. And yeah, when I first realized it was a llama, a hippo, and a sloth, I'm like, what? But they you they play well together. They have it's like they're on their own adventure, and you're just kind of looking in on it. And one part I really love is your pro tips. So my daughter is 17 and started doing this a few months ago.
Oh, coloring
Coloring.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to share this with her. But we didn't realize, the markers that you can use. Oh, I forget what they're called. There's a name for
There's
the
some
mark.
alcohol markers
Thank
that
you.
they're,
There it is.
yeah.
That's alcohol marker. Um, but didn't realize that you should put a piece of paper in
Always.
between
Yeah.
pages. You have that in there as a pro tip, and some other thoughts too. Color pens, felt tip markers, they're all an option. Gel pens too. But you dig down deep. Like nobody else says that. Honestly, I was through like three different sets of alcohol-based markers until I found the right one, and it's like you had to bring them back and blah blah. You even have QR codes to
Yes.
which I'm sure you've
Page.
vetted them out, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it like goes to a page on Amazon of the various watercolor markers, alcohol markers, colored pencils. So you can look and see, look at the reviews. That's always because that I feel like it's always changing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes to pages of that, and definitely putting a sheet of paper behind is always a good idea because no matter what, I mean, they're one-sided, right? There's not a drawing on the backside, right? So you're single-sided pages, so you could rip them out if you want to. But if you don't, be sure to just put a piece of paper in between, just in case you get any bleed through. Some markers, some colors will bleed through more than others. And yeah, I feel like that's really important because if you don't, like, yeah, I just feel like it's really important to know so you get the most out of your book. And by the way, there
Sure.
is also a little chameleon that is you have to find the chameleon in each drawing. There's a little chameleon hiding somewhere. And that chameleon, although very native to Hawaii, will be joining us around the world on other adventures. So that's my nod to Hawaii in every future book, is the chameleon. We've got
Mm.
it's like a based on a Jackson chameleon, which are the cutest chameleons ever. They're kind of big actually, and they're not like iguana size, but they can be, like this big. And they're really slow and adorable and like the cutest ever. I
Mm.
love them
Yeah,
so much.
this is so well done. By the way, I don't believe you know it, but I almost became a syndicated cartoonist back
You
in the
did.
day. Yeah, that when I was in my 20s, and I knew I wanted to do radio, but I also was doing cartooning. Even at 9 years old, I knew I wanted to do both. I pivoted away from cartooning just because I was making money at the time in radio, but I'd like to say that I have an eye for this stuff, very deep, and went on to start a marketing company, more than a decade and a half ago, using the graphic skills I learned when I was younger, because that's part of it as well. So when I'm looking at this, I know good stuff when I see it, and I'm very humble in saying that this is good stuff. Like it's so well done, and even right down to the lines being the thickness they are, and just the vibe that comes off of it. Like really well done. Really mean that.
So much. Yeah, I really hope to sell a lot of these because it's very competitive category, actually, this cute and cozy coloring book arena. Um, and not all are created the same, I will say, because there's people have gotten on the bandwagon, and I feel like there's a lot of really not good stuff out there. Like you really need to dig in. I have a couple of videos on Instagram on my Simple Kona Beach Weddings Instagram, or a video that kind of I flash through the book there also so you can see. And hopefully there'll be Steve, will you have a link to this in the show notes on Amazon? Are you able
Yeah,
to do that?
we'll
Okay.
definitely do that for sure.
Yeah, great. And because that way, and I will have it on I'm going to have it on my website very soon. Because I also want people to be able to get it easily from various different angles, but it'll go right to um, the Amazon link too. So yeah, but it's
Mm.
been so fun. The reception for this has been great. My former, I put it on Facebook, but also my former couples and my current couples were like, "Oh my God, that's so awesome! I'm getting one." And I had a bride who's like, "I color all the time. I'm getting this for me." So this is really appropriate for kids, teens, adults, whoever likes to color. There's something for everyone in here.
Yeah,
So
even a lesson about Hawaii, the volcanoes, the surfing, the rituals, some of that's it's all peppered in there, and it's cute and cozy. What
yeah,
can I-
and here's like I don't know if you can see. Oh, there we go. Yep, you can
Yeah,
sort of
on the
see on the
back.
back cover. Um, the like you can see some of the scenes on the back cover. Um, the whale watching and
Yeah,
there's
right.
all of these activities like there's parasailing, there's zip lining, there's the whale watching, the dolphins, all that kind of stuff, all those things you can actually do here. There's nothing in the book that you can't actually
Hmm.
do here in Hawaii.
Well, look at this page. This is Becky helping somebody start their lives over or for the first time. Look at that. No, I'm making that up, but that should be in there. Because this is what you
Yeah,
do.
that was a sloth over a volcano on a helicopter ride, but for those of you listening, but yes, yeah.
So wonderful. And it's available if you want to just do the search for it. Aloha. Best way to find it if somebody was just searching on Amazon,
Okay, if you're
Aloha
typing on
Adventures.
Amazon, type in Aloha Adventures, a cute and cozy animal coloring book.
Gotcha.
But Aloha Adventures, I believe my coloring book comes up first if you type that in. But if you add the a cute and cozy animal coloring book after, it will definitely come up. But the main thing you want to look for on the cover, because there are a couple of Hawaii coloring books, you want to see that llama fire dancing on the cover with a sloth and a hippo standing nearby, then you know you
Yep.
got it right. Yeah.
Awesome. And if you're looking to get married and have somebody pretty much take care of all your stress, all your worries, all your issues on Kona, best way to find you?
Yes. Just go to my website, which is Simple Kona, which is Kona, Beach Weddings with an S.com. And you can have a look at there's lots of great information on my site, and then just fill out the form. And then I'll contact you assuming I'm available and we got a good fit, I'll contact you with a link to set up an initial Zoom call so we can see if we've got a good match together. So
Hundreds and hundreds of amazing reviews, hundreds and hundreds of them. Those ceremonies performed by you, set up by you, and new lives are beginning with love. Becky, thank you for everything so much. Just the insight on all of this and the coloring book. I really appreciate it.
thanks. Thanks so much, Steve. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me today.
We'll
It's
be
fun.
right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.